Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. A bit of a different one today. We will be discussing the Real Madrid um, FC26 player ratings. Um, I do hope to bring more FC26 content onto this channel. Obviously with the game coming up in about 10 days time officially. But yeah, I am obviously, yeah, like I said, just excited to do some of those stuff. But a little bit of the preview to that, I guess, as we look ahead. I haven't been touching FC25 anymore, like, taking that sort of break away from this game and, just spending it outside of that. But we'll be back, right? Um, Yeah, so let's talk about the Real Madrid ratings. I don't think people tend to care enough about the top ratings anyway, so let's discuss Real Madrid ratings specifically and what I think in general. I haven't really looked through these yet, so yeah, I don't really have um, much of an opinion yet. But yeah, this is coming in from FGZ News. Um, does seem quite reliable. I'm not sure. So yeah, go ahead and check out uh, them if you guys want to. Um, but these are the official ratings. So we've got the joint highest rated player in the whole game with Mo Salah, which is Kylian Mbappe 91. I think that's fair enough. I think Mbappe was the best player last season for Real Madrid. I think it's clear, and he has started the season off very well, and he's an incredible player. Um, and I think he's up there with the best players, and arguably, I would say, yeah, he's the best player in the world along with Mo Salah. I think that is fair. We've got Jude Bellingham in a 90 rated. He's joined by a couple of players. I think Usman Dembele is up there, Rodri is up there, which I think is crazy. Anyways, people are gonna say you're still salty about it, which yes, I am. And a few others, I believe. Um, but yeah, I think people will be saying, yeah, Jude Bellingham had a terrible season, which I don't agree with. He's not had a good season compared to his first, but his role isn't to score 25, 30 goals, right? And for his sort of role, for what he has done, I think is good enough. Some may argue maybe an 89, that sort of -1, but I think 90 is fair. I think he has maintained himself well, considering he has been playing through that shoulder injury. I think that's fair enough, in my opinion at least. Um, we've got 389s, which is Thibaut Courtois, who remains as an 89. I think he's the best keeper in the world. But I can also see that, him and Alisson and Donnarumma are all somewhat on the same level, which I agree. I've always said that Alisson, Donnarumma, and Courtois are the top three keepers in the world at this moment in time, and they're all 89, so that makes sense. Vinny Jr. -1. Look, I completely agree with that. I think Vinny Jr. hasn't, again, right? We talked about how Bellingham should not have received the -1, but for Vinny Jr., I think it's a different scenario. I think his GAs was incredible. He still put up 41 GAs, by the way. That's incredible. But there was something that we all felt was gone from his game. Now, it's not always about the stats, which is what I said about Bellingham, right? Bellingham still contributed, I think, a lot in big moments that maybe the stats don't sort of support. But for Vinny Jr., that flair, that sort of trickster that we knew, it just left. So I think this -1 is sort of deserved. And I think, look, Vinny Jr. has a big season ahead. He has to play well because I think Xabi Alonso has told him, look, if you don't come into this team, do what Mbappe is doing in terms of your numbers, but also most importantly, the pressing, the defensive contributions. If you don't do all of these, you are going to leave. You are not going to be here for the long term, right? And Vinny Jr., if you talked about him 3-4 years ago, he was a player who was a mainstay for the next 5, 10, 15 years. So I'm just thinking, look, with a player like Vinny Jr. going from untouchable to you could leave. So I think there's a lot for Vinny Jr. to work on, to play for, because his spot isn't, I think, 100% guaranteed. I really don't. And I think that's fair enough. I think you have to work for it. And we've been so frustrated by that lack of um, team effort from Vinny Jr. And I get that for a player like him who can do things on his own, who can produce magical moments on his own, but when you're playing for a manager who wants a proper system, proper team, proper unit, and you're playing against teams nowadays that are playing as a team, you're not going to get away with playing a 1v11. I'm sorry, you're just not going to be able to get away with that. So, yeah. But Vinny Jr. in there, 89. Fede Valverde with the +1. I think that's absolutely fair. I think he is an absolute engine. People are talking about how he has started the season off poorly, which I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Anyways, 89 rated is fair. Very well-rounded player, of course, which his stats reflect that. Rudiger with the -2, I think that's about fair as well. He has had a good season, but we have seen the drop-off. I think last season he was the most consistent defender at the club, really. And yeah, I think overall we have seen the drop-off, and he could well leave next summer, which is a bit sad. But I think Rudiger, if this is his final season, which it most likely will be, hopefully it ends off well. And yeah, we obviously won't forget that character that he brings, the leadership, and just his defensive capabilities as well. Trent, keeping as an 86, I think that's fair. He's had a pretty standard season. Obviously, a lot of the headlines about him leaving. But yeah, I think 86 is fair. Carvajal, down to an 85. You can't really fault that. The ACL injury, of course, took him out for 7 to 8 months. So ultimately, look, Dani Carvajal, 85 seems fair. Rodrigo, 85, -1 as well. Again, similar to Vinny Jr., the numbers probably don't look too bad, but again, not been in the team regularly enough. When he has played, he's not really been the most convincing. So I think there's still a lot to work on for Vinny Jr. and Rodrigo. But yeah, Rodrigo the -1. Militao as well with the -1. But again, I think if he has a good season, which he looks like he's going to have one with Dean Huijsen, then I really, really expect him to go back up to an 85 or maybe even an 86 for FC27. Tchouaméni getting a downgrade is a little bit weird in my opinion. I think he was an 85, he's an 84 now. I don't see that, especially when you look at Camavinga. He has stayed the same. Like, I think Tchouaméni should have been an 85, if not even an 86. Honestly, man, I think Tchouaméni, look, maybe it's recency bias, but I thought Tchouaméni was a very consistent player last season, having to play in a role that isn't his position, centre back, and ultimately he delivered. He was crowned Player of the Month 2 months in a row. Was it March and April? I don't remember, but he was consistently scoring goals and defensively was solid for a couple of games. And I just don't agree with this. I think everything else I've agreed with, but I don't really agree with Tchouaméni getting a downgrade. Like, yeah, I just think that's unfair, man. Especially when you consider Rodri still 90. Look, I think obviously Rodri had that injury, which meant that usually injured players don't get downgraded too much. But if Rodri wasn't injured, he probably would have gotten a downgrade, right? And let's say Rodri is a 90 rated player. He deserves to be a 90 rated player. I don't think Tchouaméni is 6 ratings off him, man. I really don't think. He's 6. Maybe 4. I think 4 rating seems fair. I think 86 to 90 seems about right. Camavinga staying the same. Obviously injury issues, but hopefully he comes back strong. Alaba getting the -3, I believe. Which makes sense. He's gonna leave next summer as well, so yeah, he's not gonna take part much in games, I don't believe. Um, we've got Brahim Diaz staying the same. Yeah, I mean, again, he's just a squad player, but when he's called upon, he has done great job, man. Dean Huijsen, he was a silver last year, wasn't he like 68 rated? So I think it's gonna like a +14 increase, um, which seems insane, but he deserves it. I think the trajectory is only going up. Next year, you could see an 84, maybe even an 85, maybe even an 86. Dean Huijsen, with the way he's playing right now, he's definitely going up. Daniel Ceballos, 81. I think he's gone up by 2, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, again, maybe 80, 81 seems about fair. Mandy getting that decrease -3 from an 84 to an 81. Not been a great season for him. Again, injury issues. Um, and he's already behind Fran Garcia, and now he's already behind Alvaro Carrera. So I think it could well be the end for Mandy. Lunin keeping the same rating, fair. Arde Goulet getting a +3. Again, similar to Huijsen, the trajectory will only go higher. You could see him at 84 next year, maybe an 85. I genuinely think so. Carreras, look, incredible player. 80 seems very harsh, but hey, he's not really proven it yet, so I sort of get that. But yeah, I mean, again, trajectory is only up from here. Fran Garcia keeping this. No, he's got him a +1, but he's gone from a rare card to a common card. Yeah, I mean, look, he's been okay. He started off well in the Xabi Alonso system before Carreras came in, and then yeah, I mean, he was better than Mendy in my opinion. So I think that upgrade is deserved. Raul Asensio is finally in the game. Funnily enough, yeah, I mean, good season. Poor start to the Xabi Alonso era. Not played since. Yeah, I mean, it's not looking good for him so far. But when Real Madrid do get injuries, he will be called upon. I'm telling you. I mean, look, mistakes are bound to happen. It's how you work and deal with those mistakes. It's very possible that Asensio comes in for a run of games and he starts playing well, and those mistakes make him a better player. It's very possible. Endrick is in there as well. Yeah, I mean, not played much. Not played too much, but yeah, I think it would be very unfair to minus him off. He stayed the same. Mastantuono, I believe, um, has stayed the same, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, I mean, it's not looking great in terms of the card, but you know, the trajectory again will go out. I mean, you look at a couple of these players. Yeah, I mean, Dean Huijsen, Arda Güler, Alvaro Carreras, Mastantuono, the new signings, especially, will only get better. So I think relax, and then you'll see a couple of players go off. Rudiger will come down, potentially leave. Alaba will come down and leave. Ceballos might leave. A couple of players will come down slowly. Carvajal will eventually come down in rating. But yeah, you're hoping that the younger players come in and take those spots, right? Renier, I'm pretty sure he's not at the club anymore. Young Gonzalo Garcia, 69 rated. Yeah, I mean, he's not really proven himself too much yet, so you can't really argue against that. And then Fran Gonzalez again, he's played like one game, or maybe 1 or 2 games, but I remember him starting that game last season. I forgot which team he was against. It was at the Bernabeu. Yikes. But yeah, I mean, 63 rated, that's about fair for a third choice keeper, right? So overall, I'm pretty sure it's a 5-star overall team rating. I'm fairly happy with it. I think it's about fair. Like I said, the only one that I'm looking at and thinking that isn't fair is Aurelien Chouameni. I think he's an 85, even an 86. Apart from that, overall, I can't really argue against that. I think that's about fair. the younger players, the new signings, will take time to develop, and their ratings will obviously take time to increase. I'm not expecting Hoyson and Goulet and Carreras to get an 86 right now. I think that's very unrealistic. So what they are getting right now is fair enough. We will see that improvement eventually and gradually. So yeah, overall I am quite pleased with that. But let me know what thoughts are down below. Let me know what your club's ratings are and how you are happy with it. Maybe you're not happy with it. Let me know down below. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Hit the state, subscribe to the channel on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.